tits, bitch.
Hello, fiends and fiendettes. Welcome to episode 70 of the best horror podcast on 7voltmedia.com and the world. Scream Fiends. I'm your host, Xander, and with me once again is Russ.
Hi.
If you're just joining us for the first time on the show, we talk about all the things going on in the world of horror. And if you're a longtime listener, you know we just go off the rails and just do whatever we want. You know, we can say fuck because now AMC can say fuck and FX. But we'll get to that. Get at us on Twitter at ScreamFiends. Let us know what you're watching, what you want us to watch. We are always looking for something new and good or bad, terrible, but can't be worse than the American Martyrs remake. So, come at us on Twitter at ScreamFiends. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/ScreamFiends. You can donate if you would like, but you do not have to. All of our content will always be free of charge, but we would love it if you would donate. We have lots of perks that we promise we will absolutely fulfill.
Send more money.
Help us get a new camera.
Yeah, we're using
a phone. And it's fine. I mean, it works, but
yeah,
I can't zone out while I'm doing this and be on my phone the whole time.
I did find something we're going to do later.
Oh, all right.
It's going to be cool. Thank you, businessinsider.com.
I like it.
I found something interesting.
Subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, congratulations. You've won.
And what did they win?
Nothing. Subscribe on iTunes. If you're listening to this on iTunes, congratulations. Get with the future. It is YouTube, but not really. Because iTunes.
I don't know. I don't watch a lot of podcasts. I usually listen to them.
I listen more than, but whatever.
See, because I listen to podcasts while I'm driving around a lot.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
But if you don't have the ability to get us, I did listen to a debate on YouTube on my way here. I just, I didn't need to see what was going on.
Yeah.
So it worked that way.
Yeah, it depends if you get the cell service and they'll load the video, whatever. But yeah, it depends on what you're into. If you like looking at semi-fat people and totally skinny people.
Semi-fat? Does that mean like I'm as big as a truck, or do you mean like I'm not? Oh, I'm not like
you're not fat.
I'm not rolling,
but you're almost there. You're getting borderline.
Like how you and Jason were gonna bulk up a couple. Like I think when I first started hanging around, he goes, "We're gonna bulk up." I eat a whole pizza. It's like, phew.
I have to eat a whole lot more than a whole pizza.
Well, yeah, because you down Mountain Dews like it's water, too. See, I started drinking Coke a lot when I got out of high school because I had my own money, and that's what made me fat.
Oh, no. Yeah, that does nothing. Nothing does anything to me.
I know, and you don't do anything. You don't, jog, you don't ride bikes.
My work, though, is intensely physical, so...
Let's get physical.
Yeah.
Physical.
So that's where Grease Lightning came from.
No, I think it happened the other way. I think
Olivia Newton-John became famous because of Grease.
Well, I think she started with Grease and then became, Olivia Newton-John.
What was she before that?
I don't know.
Just
Australia.
Just Olivia John.
Australia.
I like Australians.
I like John Travolta.
If I ever get married,
I'm
going to marry an Australian.
You can't just say that. What if you're wrong?
I'm just saying, if I ever get married,
can't say that.
I'm going to marry an Australian.
What if
I can choose If I'm
So let's say you meet girl of your dreams, super cool, no kids, loves video games, would sit down here and just watch you play games, do your own thing, hits you, do whatever you want, right? Like super cool.
Yeah.
But she's like from Texas.
Then we just won't get married.
But she wants to get married.
She better go to Australia and become an Australian citizen.
So,
no, it's got to be a natural-born Australian.
You want the accent.
That, and they got something in their genes, I think.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I don't know. There's just something about Australians that I like.
Okay. Well, good luck. You're not exactly in the best place to meet Australians.
No, but I've always wanted to go to Australia.
Sure. Everything there will either eat you or kill you, but yeah.
Yes, and that's what I like about it.
You should definitely go there.
I definitely should. I probably shouldn't because I'll probably end up dead, but...
He'd probably be fine.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, it's not like I'm some sort of wilderness person, so it's not like I'm going to be out in the barbie.
I don't think that's what they say. I think the Barbie's a barbecue.
Yeah,
and the saying is shrimp on the Barbie.
But I'm not going to be eaten by some dingoes out in the outback, mate.
God.
Where are we?
Who cares? What did you do this week? We're starting with you this time.
Okay.
No, we're starting with me. So.
All right. Russ, what have you been watching, playing, et cetera?
Well, Destiny 2 has finally died.
Thank goodness.
No, it's fine. I like the game a lot. It's a great game. I still play it. But now I just play it like one day a week. I don't care about making other characters because there's no value in that for me.
Yeah.
For me. I've gotten all the content, and changing my skill set it's not going to do anything for me.
No.
So I'm going to just stick with my hunter and play when I can. And I'm playing Persona 5 now. I'm going to give that a real college try. Persona 5, another great game that I have trouble getting into because of when I played, like I started goofing around on Lunar, a different, an older JRPG, and it's straightforward. You just go here, fight things, level up, get a little bit of story, go here, level up, fight things, fight a boss, move story. It moves in a way that like the grinding and everything makes sense. Persona 5 is actually a lot more challenging than that because you have more things to consider. You have a time limit. You have, the confidence.
Well, time limit as in like not like an actual countdown, like timer.
No,
more like you
calendar.
have to pick and choose what you do up until you can no longer do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think like even having multiple saves, because I read a couple like tips, like kind of spoiler-free tips, just like ways to play this game to make it like so like have multiple saves just in case, because like you can't just like have two saves save like Lunar. It's like, hey, I'm gonna go to this next spot. Oh, I should have leveled up here a little bit more.
Yeah.
Reload that save, fight things for a couple hours, and then go. It's
right.
There's more to it than that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna accept this challenge and take it on. I'm excited to kind of discover the different monsters that they put in it. With fusion and just finding them.
Right.
I like the negotiation thing that they got in it, where you try to talk the demons into fighting with you.
Oh yeah.
Now I can't remember because it's been so long. Persona 3 and 4. How did you get demons on your team? Was it the same thing?
No, I think it was like Pokemon where you basically beat them down until they were like low enough health. Mm-hmm. I think, and then you could capture them.
Because I know that this whole dialogue with the monsters actually was in Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne.
Yeah, it wasn't in 4
that's how you
though.
Do that.
It wasn't in Persona 4.
Sure. So yeah, I suggest that everybody, at least in 7-Volt, play Nocturne. It's like Persona minus the dating sim, so it's a little bit more straightforward RPG, but it's got the same kind of difficulty, and you like run into like Reapers and stuff.
Yeah.
These guys are coming after your Megatama or whatever it's called, and but that's got a cool story to it. All these are considered offshoots of that, anyways.
Right.
But I suggest everybody play that. But yeah, I'm actually like excited to get into it though. Like I have trouble getting into it's like see what I like about like Castlevanias and Destiny's like you can just jump in, fuck with it, and then jump out. When you're gonna sit down and play an RPG, you know you're gonna there's like a mental necessity there that like I haven't had for years to play these things. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge time commitment because even if like I didn't grind a whole lot like here and there, but for the most part I just kind of played through the game, and it's still like at least a 70-hour game, like just playing through it.
Yeah, I'm a level 3 or something. I've already put like 3.5 hours in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was already like 10 hours in before I even finished the first
palace or whatever.
Dungeon, palace, whatever you want to call it. They're called palaces.
So like part of the game that I think is cool is that like you have to like walk to everything you want to go to, and you kind of get like snippets of like, you know, people gossiping, or you just kind of hear things. But I also hate that.
You can fast travel.
You can fast travel? Okay, I didn't get to that point yet when you could like fast travel.
Yeah.
Because you just have to walk through everything. It's just like, I love that at the same time, but because you're not getting into random battles, it's kind of like, fuck, I just want to get to the school already. I think it would have been interesting if they could have somehow had like a random battle thing when you're walking around during daylight where like, there's a distortion here that you have to cleanse, you know, like, I don't know, just because I like the combat in it, you know, it's all the same. Find a weakness, exploit it, you know, rush mode, or not rush mode, but all-out attack.
Yeah.
Weakness, all-out attack. You know, you do the same thing over and over again, but it's cool, it's fun. I like it's got my favorite victory screen.
Oh, the stylized.
The stylized where they're like, okay, let's go, and they all kind of like run off and stuff.
Yep.
So I really like that. So the only thing that's got me more excited about RPGs is that Octopath Traveler.
Project Octopath? Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Oh, I cannot wait for that game to come out.
I want more. I want them to just. I hope that that's not proprietary, that style, and that everybody can just like let's see tons of old school JRPGs come out looking like that.
Yeah, because it like it's such like a breath of fresh air, like to see. These are they 8-bit?
I think they'd be
16-bit.
It looks more like 16-bit graphics.
Yeah, like
8-bit would have been like the original Final Fantasy.
Sure. Yeah, so like 16-bit characters, and even like it's weird because it's got almost like the world is almost like that, but it's got this 3D more detailed environment, and it's the lighting and all that like is modern lighting. So it's
basically they took what's like a strategy RPG and like a JRPG, gave it this like field vision kind of thing, but then they hit it with like modern lighting, and it has a cool effect to it. And I think that I'd like to see a lot of stuff come out that way, because playing Lunar for the couple hours I did was like, man, I miss this. Like playing this with the old sprites and especially working designs and their fucking translations, man.
Yeah.
Like I posted some pictures on our chat where you can go up to the chickens in the village, and your little cat, your winged cat that follows you around says, I hate these things. They wake me up in the morning. I could just choke them. It's like choke the chicken joke. Love it. And then you go to this cave to get a crystal from a dragon, you know, the dragon diamond. And he's like, you guys really like these diamonds. I don't understand why humans like, don't they know that it's made out of my and then they you know, he gets cut off, but he's going to say that dragon diamonds are made out of dragon shit. Like, which is like, who knows what it really said. Like working designs, their translations are pretty fun. So, but as far as that, that's pretty much it for what I've been doing. Not much horror related. I did talk to the wifey about looking into some more audiobooks on our Audible account. I was thinking about maybe picking up It.
Oh.
And actually listening to It. Yeah. You know, but the name is slipping my mind, but the book that, I don't know if there's an audiobook of it, I'm sure there is, but Hellbound Heart, that's what it is. Clive Barker's Hellbound Heart, which is what Hellraiser's come from.
Okay.
Kind of want to see what the book is, you know, see what that's like.
Is it? So was Hellraiser like a straight adaptation of that,
I
or is it
think
just like
Hellraiser,
inspired by that?
I think it's an adaptation.
Okay, so there'll be Cenobites and all that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But like, I know I was like reading like synopsis on Hellraiser and how it wasn't originally supposed to be hell. Like they don't mention they're from hell in the original movie. That comes later, maybe even the third movie.
Yeah,
because the second one I think is like a direct sequel. I can't remember now. My brain. But anyways, yeah, they don't. They're not like from hell, but then it gets kind of a religious undertone later on in the series.
I thought it's because the puzzle box maker is in the first one, right? Like that tells a story of the puzzle box maker.
Yeah, something like that. I know some kid, like some guy gets it and gets the hooks.
I thought they had like flashbacks of the guy making the puzzle box, though. But maybe that's in one of the sequels. I can't keep it straight.
It's been so long. But I think the main guy, the father in that movie, I think that guy's in Twin Peaks, if I remember correctly. I think he plays Audrey's dad.
Oh yeah,
the owner of the
the
resort. I can't think of his
Moose. No,
I need to watch that again too. But so I've been thinking about like doing that. I'm driving around so much, may as well listen to some books.
Sure,
but you shouldn't listen to books. You should listen to us, and I'll tell you what the book says.
Yeah. Let us soothe you with our wonderful voices.
With our techno at 1.5 times.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty cool. Anyways.
90s techno.
90s techno. What have you been doing?
Well, since our last episode, Dagon, that really gave me a hankering to play a certain 7-Volt Media 2015 Game of the Year.
Was it Game of the Year? I thought.
Yeah.
Who?
Well, I lie all the time and say Until Dawn was, but it was actually Bloodborne.
See, I'm sitting here believing that it was Until Dawn.
It's because I'm a good liar.
Bloodborne? Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, been playing a ton of Bloodborne, and we've had this argument already, but I think we need to share it.
Should we do it now? Should we just have a little quick debate?
Yeah.
So the argument is that that Alex is dumb, and I'm trying to tell him that he's not, but he's super stupid.
Well, because Bloodborne is clearly the best game in the entire Soulsborne franchise series. Even though Bloodborne isn't part of that series, it's the same.
So this is what
family.
I will concede. I will concede that Bloodborne is probably one of the more important games, maybe the second most important, because some of the aspects of that game end up in Dark Souls 3, which I consider the best Souls game.
But not enough elements to make Dark Souls 3 good.
See, now here's where you already aren't into fantasy, though.
Yeah,
so
but it's not even that,
away.
though. It's not even that, though. It's that the story in Dark Souls is just... It's not there. There is nothing compelling you, the player, to play the game.
You're not compelled to play it?
No. Why should I? There's nothing... Oh, I'm going to go... I don't even know what I'm going to do. I know there's some fires that need to be lit.
Yeah.
But as far as, like, point A to point B...
Did you skip the intro of that game?
No.
Because the game tells you the intro tells you everything.
I understand what is technically going on.
So now this is where the debate changes, because what I was debating with you was, no, the game tells you what you're supposed to do. Now if you want to say,
it does not tell you what you're supposed to do. That I disagree with. It does not tell you what you're supposed to do.
I mean, like, you understand that you're supposed to go find these lords and put them on these things and then rekindle the fire.
No, I know there are these lords, and I know this fire is going out,
mm-hmm.
but at no point am I like, oh, I'm the one that's supposed to go light these fires.
Did you talk to the NPCs?
Yeah. You're a hollow. Whatever the fuck that means.
You're Ashen. You're not a hollow. You can become a hollow.
Ashen in this game.
Yeah, you can become you can become Lord of the Hollows if you follow like the true ending story arc.
So you're not a hollow in Dark Souls 3.
You can become a hollow, but you are not a hollow. You notice how when you die, you don't turn all crispy looking?
Well, you lose your glowy fire.
Yeah, you lose your ember, and like when you kill a boss or you help a person, it says ember restored.
Yeah.
But you don't go hollow. You can go hollow if you do something, though.
Okay, well, we're not going into the...
That's fine.
You have to chop the wood in a certain angle.
It's not even that
at
hard.
a certain...
You're making so much
and
shit
you have to be
up
wearing the ring of
there's no rings.
Saranthropy.
Saranthropy? So here's my thing. What I was arguing is that you were saying that you have no idea what's going on. So I was taking that, like, you just turn the game on, and then you just get to the scene where the guy comes out of the grave, and you're like, well, what am I supposed to do now? Which is like, well, you're supposed to watch the intro, and then you got to get through the beginning part, and then you get more information once you get inside the thing. So when I was saying...
But you don't really get more information. You
is
get
very
more
cryptic.
and more, like, what is what?
So in the first half an hour of the game, though, what you get is you know that the fire is going out.
Yes.
And that the Lord, when the fire starts going out, the lords come out of their sleepy, and that you have to go get them, or whatever, right? And you learn within the first half an hour, you learn that you are the one that needs to relink the fire because you're an Ashen One. That's what you learn in the first half an hour of the game, including the intro all the way up to when you get to the first bonfire with the firekeeper and the sullen soldier guy and the guy that sits on the throne and the witch lady that sits in the chair and the blacksmith from the first game. You learn...
Andre.
I'm very proud of you. But you learn... You get the general premise of what's going on.
I guess.
In the first half an hour. Now, in the first half an hour of Bloodborne, you get... a screen where you're looking up at a guy.
Exactly what you're doing.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
The guy that's over you is like, you've been infected by this shit, blood, and then he's like, you're gonna get this transfusion, and then the wolf starts on fire, which symbolizes the bad blood being burned away. And then you learn that there's a hunt going on in this town, Yharnam.
What's the hunt?
It's where all the beasts come out. And so now you're a hunter because...
And you're fighting other people.
That are other hunters.
Well, you do fight other hunters, but then you fight like beast dudes.
That have been...
Tainted
by the...
So they didn't get any of the old Yharnam blood then.
Right. That's where it gets a little tricky because you don't really know if the Yharnam blood is curing you but also making you crazy.
So that's my thing is I have no idea what you're supposed to do though. Like you just kind of get thrown into it and just kind of go and you take the path of least resistance, which is typical of these games, but you take the path of least resistance, and I don't know what's going on.
But see, that's the difference here is that it doesn't matter because at the root of it, you know that you're a hunter, and so if you're running around killing shit, it makes sense.
So you're saying just based on your occupation as a character, it makes more sense.
Yeah. Whereas in Dark Souls, it's like, well, you're kind of a knight, I guess.
Well, not necessarily. You could be anything.
Sure, but that's the problem. Like
the point is that you are one of because this now. What I think that what helps with the Dark Souls 3 story though is the Dark Souls 1. Because you know that it's linked to that. So if you know anything about Dark Souls 1, you see commonalities and stuff. I just feel like now I'm taking this now. Let's go past the first hour. Let's go well into this game. I really feel like once you get into Dark Souls, you know what you're doing. You figure out what you're doing. Whereas Bloodborne, I got all the way to like where you fight Cthulhu's daughter in that 1 year chapel thing. I had no idea where I was going or what I was doing.
Wait, not the
daughter of Chaos. I can't remember her name. She had
not the wet nurse.
No. The daughter of Chaos. You have to when you go to this area, you fight like a giant mushroom guy, and then you break this glass. You can break this what do they call it? Stained glass window and jump down into this room and fight this. She looks like a Cthulhu monster. It's like the daughter of Chaos. I can't remember her name. Have you ever done that? It's a hidden boss battle. It's a boss battle.
Don't think I did then.
Okay, yeah, that's about where I got until. Now I didn't not like.
I liked that I didn't. I mean, it didn't bother me. I didn't know what I was doing, but I figured that things would be revealed to me more. But I feel like I was missing so much as I was going through Bloodborne. I was just kind of like going here.
Well, see, I think the crypticness of Bloodborne makes a little more sense than Dark Souls. Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe because it's more horror related and it's more like Lovecraftian. You kind of get the themes, what's kind of going on. But with Dark Souls, I feel like it's all like shrouded in this just
grand hidden lore.
Yeah.
Yep. And so I every time we try to talk about it, I try to not bring any of that in and still get my point, because I don't know, I've done and read things about it, this and that, you know, fan theories, read the little things, and so I really enjoy the lore, you know, and I haven't done that as much with Bloodborne. See, now, you know, Dark Souls 3 is my favorite of the group, and then underneath that, you know, Bloodborne and Dark Souls will flip-flop, depending on when I played last. Dark Souls 2 somewhere, and then Demon Souls is somewhere. But, like, you know, Dark Souls 3 is I feel like, as far as the combat goes, it really nailed it there.
See, I would disagree with that, too. Like, just having played Bloodborne, and I would say it's been a couple weeks since I kind of skimmed the surface on Dark Souls 3 again. The combat in Bloodborne, I feel, is just more fun and more fluid. Like, the trick weapons, like, combining those, like, doing a one attack and then immediately switching to your trick alternate.
That's really cool. I do like that. Now, they did do some things where you could, like, dual wield weapons now in this one, and you could... Like, I like the sword and shield, the sword and board kind of stuff. See, I really get into the sword and board, like the fantasy field. And so I think that's where, like, I like that part of it. It hits that Dungeons and Dragons itch for me. And I love Bloodborne because it hits the Lovecraftian craziness, and I like the switch weapons. Like, I always start with the axe, but as soon as I get, like, the Kirk hammer, I'll switch to that one. Or, what was the other one I got? Yeah, because, like, as you've been talking about, I've been wanting to play it again. I've been wanting to play Bloodborne again. But I really feel like I understood less about Bloodborne the further I got into it than I did with Dark Souls.
Sure.
Like, Dark Souls, I like it pretty much. I almost like that, but like I don't think that that's a bad thing with Bloodborne, because it just means I have to do more, like, looking into it. Like, oh, okay, I gotta try, because I like, you know, I'm sitting here scouring the land for, like, little nodes, you know, of light where you can click on it and you get little notes. It's just like it seems so hard to find these things. Like, I just never knew, like, why I was fighting what. You know, and now when I think about it, too, though, I'm thinking about bosses I fight in Dark Souls. The only reason I know what I'm fighting is because I probably went back somewhere and read about this boss. You know, and finding that lore and the way things are evolved.
Yeah, like, I don't really see I don't know how the Souls games get, like, later on, because Dark Souls 1, I've probably made it the furthest in.
What'd you get to? Do you remember the last thing you fought?
There was a bunch of lava.
Like a ton, you're running all over the place. There's like big, like, Tyrannosaurus Rex looking things.
Yeah.
That's pretty far into it, yeah.
But I don't know if they're the same way, but Bloodborne sort of goes from okay, this is kind of fucked up, to, like, this is, like, insane.
And you're not even using all the insight, because, like, once you get past 40 insight, the character models change.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, like, I'll just give you one quick one just to give you an idea.
Yeah.
But you know the guys that carry the lanterns?
Yep.
Their lanterns look different.
Well, I've gotten enough insight to where they'll start shooting things out.
Okay, you've gotten that. Okay,
yeah.
Because look at their lanterns, actually. Because normally it just looks like a lantern with, like, a purple or whatever light.
Right.
But now, look at it as they shoot with you. It's got eyeballs and shit all over it.
Oh,
and,
wow.
And stuff like that. And I know, like, once you get past 40, I think you can see those monsters that, like, grab you out of
the amygdalas.
Yeah. The big, giant, like, Cthulhu monsters. But you can see them.
You can... Well, see, I guess I don't know. Well, my insight, I usually keep it around like
20, right?
no less than 20, like 11 to 15.
Okay.
I like to keep it around.
Because the game does get harder the more you use. I had that shit up to like 40 or 50.
Yeah. Yeah, because once you get to a certain point, you go. I think it's after you kill Rom.
Okay.
You go back to Yargul village.
Okay.
And like shit's all going crazy and they're all climbing up on the buildings. So I think they do show up after that part. But they are in that spot where you first see the lantern carrying guys. And if you stand in a certain spot in the courtyard,
I
they
noticed like I did something in the game and it changed the behavior of the one guys. Like they used to roam around this one center area, but after I did something, they were sleeping. And if I could like sneak by them or something.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I tried the game, and the problem was I got the game and then got Destiny right away afterwards when I got my PS4. I got that game, and that one boss, I think it's like the second one, because you had that first optional boss on the bridge.
Yeah.
Then you got the one old hunter guy,
Gascon,
and then you have some beastly thing in a church.
Bloodstarved Beast.
The Bloodstarved Beast in the church. That whooped my ass up and down the street the first time I tried doing it because it's so fast.
Well, yeah, and it has the poison attacks.
Yeah.
So
your life just goes. Bleh.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I. So as far as like which story is better, whatever, I'm not going to argue that because that's completely subjective. But I feel like when you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. It's like, well, they tell you what you're doing. Okay. But now if you will say, I will concede though, if you say, I don't care that this is happening and this isn't motivation for me, I will concede that. That's fine. I get that.
Yeah, and I think that is like the style of the artwork. No, not artwork. Is style the right word? The theme. The more Lovecraftian, Victorian horror vibe that Bloodborne has, as opposed to the fantasy. Is it high fantasy or low fantasy?
It'd be high, like somewhere in the middle, I guess, because there is a lot of magic, but it looks.
There's dragons.
Yeah, I would say it's a mixture because like
Game of Thrones has
high
dragons,
fantasy would be like your Lord of the Rings, almost like where everything's very magnificent and like, but there's not a lot of magic because he only uses a couple of spells. But
Dumbledore.
No, Dumbledore. That's Harry Potter, isn't it?
Yeah. What is?
You're talking about Gandalf.
The gray.
But,
or the white.
Yeah, no, high. That'd be like Farron and Lord of the Rings. Dungeons and Dragons, like that main setting. Farron, the
Dragon's Crown.
Dragon's Crown probably be pretty. You can consider that high fantasy.
Yeah.
But low fantasy would be like
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones would be a pretty good example of low fantasy.
There's some magic in it though.
Yeah, but as far as like playing though, like a low fantasy would be like, gold is scarce. It's more kind of almost like got a survival aspect.
Sure.
I like low fantasy a lot. So.
Now I will admit that in both games, and I mean some people really love this about the games where it doesn't tell you where exactly to go, where specifically to go.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yeah, it's the exploration element. Now, I like that too, except for the punishment of, if you die, you have to replay every little section that you've ever done before.
Sure. I don't mind that. All video games are repetitive. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah. But, I mean, I wish they would have a mode. I mean, just like an option. Like, you don't have to do it or anything, but have a mode or option that you could turn off respawns. So basically, if you killed everything in an area, they're not going to respawn if you die.
Oh, gotcha. So you could literally just run through the area. Because if you die now,
after you beat it,
or your, what do they call them in Bloodborne? The
lanterns.
Lanterns. So you go back to your if you beat through a thing at your lantern, but you get to the last part before you get to that lantern, something kills you.
Yep.
You go back to the lantern, but you can just run through. You don't have to kill everything again.
Yes.
Sure.
I even wouldn't mind like you would have to beat an entire area first,
and that's what activates the lantern or something.
or that's what activates like no respawns.
Sure.
So if you make it a certain way and then you die, but you still haven't beaten the boss, everything still respawns.
Gotcha.
So
I can get in. I wouldn't select that option, but yeah, I could see like if you're just trying to get through the story.
Yeah.
You know, like an easy mode, but like that's easy mode in Souls games. It's just like
it kind of defeats the purpose, but
yeah,
whatever.
But Bloodborne 2, is that a thing?
It's got to be a thing.
Oh my God.
Bloodborne. We were looking it up the other day. It's like the 4th best-selling PlayStation 4 game ever.
Really?
Yeah.
It's an awesome game.
Horizon is number 2.
Horizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just saw a funny GIF. It was of a girl smiling like this, you know, and she had a 98 over her head that looked at the Metacritic score.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
And she's looking, and then you see Sean Astin. I can't remember what movie this is. Maybe it's Lucas or something. Was he in Lucas?
Lucas?
Yeah. The Luke, like football high school movie from way back.
No, that's not Lucas.
What's that called? The kid with the glasses?
Not
Rudy. I'm not talking about Rudy.
Okay, that's what
I'm
I
not
was
talking
thinking
about
of.
Rudy.
Yeah.
But in any case, he smiles at her. He's got Horizon Zero Dawn over his forehead. He smiles at her, and then Zelda Breath of the Wild leans in like this. Another guy leans in, looks at him, shakes his head at him like, no, this girl ain't for you. So Zelda Breath of the Wild leans in because that got a 98 from Metacritic.
Yeah.
That was funny. I mean, it scored better. I mean,
it's not a better game, though.
It scored better, though. Everybody thinks.
It's a conspiracy.
The creator of what's the game? He works over. Creator of one of the directors of Final Fantasy 15 said it was almost a perfect game.
Zelda.
Mm-hmm. I'll find the article. I'll find it.
Game is. It's fine, but it's
almost perfect.
No, it's not.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that either, but it's,
Horizon is better.
But it's fun.
Yeah. But in any case, Bloodborne.
I might.
Bloodborne 2.
I might play some of that now.
There is rumors that Bloodborne 2 may be revealed at PSX, which is in November, I want to say.
I'm going to have to take my pants off for that.
They're trying to make PSX like a big thing for first party games, like reveals. Like
That's cool.
Last of Us 2 was revealed last year there.
Okay.
So yeah,
Isn't The Last of Us 2 not
it.
coming out to like 2020 though,
or
while.
Something? Yeah. I don't know though. They're starting to tease a little bit more.
Sure.
So I think it's further along than we might think.
Sure.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus remake. You don't like Shadow of the Colossus?
I think Last Guardian kind of put the
turd on that for you.
Yeah.
You didn't like The Last Guardian? I thought you said it was all right.
It was, but it was very frustrating.
Well, that's another one of those harder games.
It's not hard.
What was frustrating about it?
The AI of Trico.
Is that the name of the
your
monster
dog? Bird cat.
Dogbird cat?
Yeah.
Nothing cute. But yeah.
Yeah, what would you want to see in a Bloodborne 2?
Just more Bloodborne 2.
Yeah.
More Bloodborne. I don't care. It could be. They could just reuse the old map and just relocate the enemies and say, yeah, it's new. I'd be like, yeah, thanks. Want $60? Here's 80. Let me have a little action figure.
Really, like gameplay wise,
yeah.
There's not much you could do there, like to make it any better.
The only thing I would say to make it better, and it's not even real true, is more weapons.
More weapons, and I would love more equipment, like armor.
Yeah, more fashion Souls.
More choices, I guess.
I want more fashion.
Because really, like, you don't necessarily need to be switching around equipment, and some equipment does drastically hurt your effects or hurt your statuses. Mm-hmm. So, I would just like to see more of, like, options.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I would like to see more
viable options.
Yeah, maybe more than just trick weapons, too. Have trick weapons in it, but maybe some normal weapons, too. I'm probably wrong on that, because that's kind of its thing.
I like in Bloodborne where you can find a shield, and it's like, this thing is a piece of crap. Like, only pussies use a shield.
It's like making fun of its other game.
Yeah,
I love that, yeah. But I don't know, some of that. I would like to see them not bring the chalice thing into it.
Chalice dungeons?
I don't like that.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it was dumb. It's basically you get an H designed dungeon that you run through and get something. It's just like like I was trying to play the game, 2 years after it had come out and like doing those and finding people to help with that, and just like I don't really think that it kind of like takes you out of the game almost.
But it's not even. It's like a separate part of the game. Like you don't.
But if you want to get like the high end gear, you got to run that shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about it. It's not the worst thing, but it's like the dungeons were seriously as bad as a Skyrim game. Where everything, or a Elder Scrolls game where every dungeon looked the same to me.
Yeah.
You walk through this one tunnel, fight some shit, then you get into a room that's just a ravine. You climb down a ladder, fight some rats, climb up another ladder. Now, granted, I didn't graduate past very many. I didn't get deeper into that, and I wasn't using like the higher end chalices. The variation could grow later on. So I'm probably wrong about it, but
yeah.
But I want more Bloodborne too.
I can't wait. Yeah, it's so weird to me, like how they're so similar, Dark Souls and Bloodborne, but for whatever reason, Bloodborne just clicks with me. And I think it is like the faster paced combat. It teaches you how you should be playing Dark Souls, but there's also that element of regaining some of your health back. If an enemy attacks you, you have a window where you can attack them and get some of your health back. Like, I really like that.
I do like that as well. But the thing I don't like is the fucking blood vials, though. Like, you have to find them. You can't just buy them.
You can buy them.
Well, from where?
The vendor. At the Dream Hunter
house.
house.
Didn't know that.
Yeah.
Does he always have a lot of them?
Yeah, you can buy as many as you want.
Oops. I'm sitting here just, like, grinding monsters to get them. Like,
well, you can only hold 20, or if you have certain things, you can hold more. But
so
and then you have your storage, which holds.
Do you remember
99?
like the one like tower that's got an elevator, and then but if you go down, there's like two big dudes. I would sit there and just fight in that area for like 2 hours, just grinding up blood vials before boss fights. Because I got to a point where I could get my visceral attack on those guys really good. When you shoot them, because what I do is I'd go in, I'd shoot the guy in the wheelchair, because he gives you 4 bullets every time, so you always have enough bullets, and I would run down to those guys, wait them come up to this, and I'd blast them to stun them, then I would visceral attack them. That's the other thing I would change, is the visceral attacks. I would make them
Bloodborne.
Yeah, I would make them weapon based, as opposed to like use your hand every time. Have him use the weapon.
Well, you do. You're gun.
Doesn't he go like this?
No, you shoot him.
No, you shoot him to stun him, but when you do the visceral attack, your guy just reaches into the monster and rips out like that look.
Oh.
So what I'm saying is like, if you get a visceral attack with like the saw blade, you like hit the monster and like saw them or something. That's what I mean. Something
that
like
would be cool.
That could get kind of annoying after a while, especially if you're good at it. It's like, oh, I gotta wait for
you're
to saw
seeing the
this
same
monster.
animations. Yeah. I mean, you still are seeing the same animation with the
Sure, but maybe you could have vary like depending on the enemy, you kill it a different way, or depending on where you hit it or something. I don't know.
Or have a few different ones for each weapon, so it does vary up each time.
Yeah,
it's not, either way,
that would be. I could imagine that being a bitch.
Yeah,
because you'd have to have basically you'd have to for each weapon and for each enemy you'd have to have different variations to make it not stagnant. But you wouldn't really have to, because like you said before, it was just you reaching into them and pulling out blood. So now you can just you take the saw blade and you take it and you just like this maybe into each enemy, or depending on they could find a way to do that, make it all look the same.
What about battle damage? Like you can cut an enemy's legs off.
That'd be cool. I always like battle damage and things. It'd be kind of cool to give, because you're a hunter, right?
Yeah.
And maybe you give this game a bit of a Monster Hunter feel.
Oh.
Where you fuck monsters up, right? And then you take things from them
and
to
you can
make
craft
things.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. I like that's probably
a bad doggy.
Idea. That sounds like something I'm going to get. That's a bad idea.
All right, let's get into some news. There's not a whole lot, but there's a few items here. So Scanners, you remember that? Scanners,
What's that?
head exploding.
No, I've never heard. Yeah. So,
yeah.
What about it?
It is getting a TV series adaptation. Or I don't know if it's an adaptation or just like a series based in the Scanner world.
Is David Cronenberg directing it?
I don't think so.
That's okay. But
They're-
what channel? What stations?
So it's in like, I don't know if it'd be pre-production.
So they're making a pilot to pitch to stations?
Yeah, but they want to... It sounds like they're getting some pretty big-name directors involved in it. And they want to have it on premium channels, like so Showtime, HBO, whatever.
Oh, so they're heading... Okay,
So it's going to be a...
HBO, please.
Yeah, it's going to be... It's not going to be one of those CW...
CWs.
Where all the... where the scanners are like hot teens. And instead of blowing up heads, they blow up hearts.
I love you. But yeah, that sounds cool. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the movie is basically him hunting down other scanners, right?
Yeah.
So that makes sense for like you could have like a Monster of the Week type show. I don't know. Well, they're not really monsters though.
I mean, you could be a scanner of the week.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I think it'd be fine
Yeah, I think
in
it'd
a
be fine.
television format.
I think I want to watch Scanners now.
Well, you know, we do this show where we watch a movie every week.
I'll watch Scanners next week.
Sure.
All right, cool.
Yeah, it's been a while since we did. I think The Fly was the last Cronenberg we did.
Well, unless you count his kid.
Oh, yeah.
Antiviral. I feel like we did another Cronenberg joint, though.
I don't know if we did. Probably not. But in any case, we got to do Scanners at some point. So
Sure.
yeah, it's probably going to be at least a year or more before this show actually comes out. So I would say we can do the movie before. Ideally, I would like to do it like when the show comes out, but
We don't know if the show's going to come out.
yeah. Hocus Pocus. You remember that, Jim?
That's a gem.
Bette Midler,
Awesome.
Sarah Jessica Parker,
Awesome.
and I don't know who the other one is.
Me neither, but she's awesome, too.
Yeah.
She was my favorite one.
You know, Sarah Jessica Parker. Oh, I was in love with Sarah Jessica Parker back. I mean, in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And nothing else.
Not even like the teenage girl. Like they didn't think like she didn't do nothing for you.
Oh well, I'm talking like Sarah Jessica Parker outside this movie.
Yeah.
Like no, but Sarah Jessica Parker in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree to that. Like
yeah.
seeing Strickpicker, Jitspitter, Dirk, I can't say her name. Sarah Jessica Parker outside of that, I was like, ah.
Yeah. So
Like, you remember when South Park made fun of her?
Oh,
Matthew Broderick, you brought your goat today.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's so fucked up.
So this is coming directly from Mick Garris, who wrote the first Hocus Pocus, believe it or not. And he doesn't have any direct involvement in it in this sequel, but apparently he knows something's going on with it.
Cool.
Now the only downside is he thinks that it's going to be like for TV, like a Disney Channel original movie type thing, which is very, very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, give it a real deal.
Yeah.
This is what we want.
Especially if you get Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and the other one.
That's so sad.
I know. Look her up. Look her up right now. So
she was hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I remember her from Sister Act too. I liked her in that.
That's right. She is in that. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, it definitely needs to get a
Her name was Kathy Najimy.
Najimy.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, they're rumored to all be on board, wanting to do it, but yeah, get a theatrical release like a full-blown, big-budget Hocus Pocus 2. Agree?
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Well, that girl is 41 now.
41?
Yep.
Jeez. Was that 92? No.
It were 93.
93.
So that's a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came out in July 6th.
Really?
July of 1993.
I remember I didn't see a lot of movies like multiple times in the theater when I was a kid, but I know for sure I saw Hocus Pocus like at least a few times. Like that movie is just pure gold. Love it. So we talked a long time ago about Evil Dead 2 getting a board game. And
What do you mean? This one?
yeah, that one. And hot off the heels of the Dark Souls board game, in fact, the makers of the Dark Souls board game are going to be making a Resident Evil 2 board game.
That could be sweet.
So I think we should do an offshoot series. A Stream Fiends kind of spin-off, like, just sort of like a different thing, but... So I want to play the Evil Dead game. I want to play the Dark Souls game. I want to play the Resident Evil 2 game.
Time out. Dark Souls game.
Yeah.
Let me get you a price on that game real quick.
Oh, no.
Just take a guess how much that board game costs.
$50.
I wish.
More than $50?
Oops. Yeah, man.
I guess I have no experience in like board games.
Board games are fucking stupid expensive.
Really?
Yep. Oh, it's here at CoolStuffInc.com. You can get it for
$105.
Dang. That.
Yeah, there's a really cool looking like Risk style game called Cthulhu Wars. It's
I don't know. I wonder how much that costs now. I mean, when I saw it at the source, it was like $250 or something like that. And I want it, but
well, I don't know. Maybe
I do have Arkham Horror though. We could play that.
Yeah.
That's a Cthulhu game. Marcos has got Elder Sign. That's like Arkham Horror Light, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Huh. Well, maybe we'll get these games. I don't know. Look for it in the future. If it doesn't happen,
I have Cthulhu Flux.
Ooh, Cthulhu Wars core set's only $160 here.
God, that's crazy for a board game.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so you can get Nyarlathotep
Hotep, and the board game piece is like this. It's like a statue that's like.
Oh yeah,
but it's just all yellow.
Yeah,
it's not like paint or anything. But I guess you could paint them though because they're just plastics. That'd be kind of cool.
Sure.
But yeah, what else you got?
All right, so now, let's flash back, rewind, 50 minutes or so.
50?
Remember how I was saying that? Oh, AMC allows fucks now.
Oh yeah, fucks.
And it is true.
What?
AMC is now starting with Fear the Walking Dead.
Sure.
And
so doesn't the FCC have something to say about that?
I don't know. Since they're on cable?
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
I don't know either. But apparently they can now say fuck twice per season. 2 times in a season.
Well,
which is ridiculous to me. Like, who watching this is like, oh, I missed that episode that said fuck, so I'm now like, when I do hear fuck, when they say it the second time, I'm gonna be shattered. Or like, if someone's watching the show and they can hear the word fuck, why not just freely let them use it?
So if you're watching a show where human beings, although undead, are being dismembered by guns and whatever, I'm pretty sure you can handle the word fuck.
Yeah.
I you know what I mean? It's just like, it seems dumb to me that you're censoring it at all. Because I feel like if I was in a post-apocalyptic, zombie apocalypse kind of thing,
right,
I would be saying fuck all the time. I say fuck
and it's
all
just
the time now.
like, I mean, it's... Kids have the internet now.
Well,
this
is that whole thing though. It's like, why like why is just like violence okay, but like the word fuck isn't?
Yeah, totally.
So it's like you can watch on CW on the Brothers.
Yeah.
You can watch them decapitate a vampire and there's blood and there's gore, right?
Yeah.
But you can't say fuck. I don't get it. It's like, it's like you're sitting there watching this, like insinuated sex scene and which is still very light. And then the next scene they shoot a guy to death and there's blood and gore everywhere. And then, they throw a shit in there like, oh, I'm going to cover my kid's ear. It's like, what?
No, it makes no sense whatsoever. Like, it's
stupid,
dumb. But
dumb. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and FX. You know how we were watching the first episode of the new American Horror Story, and they say "fuck" a couple times in there.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, because we were like, oh, this must not be censored.
Yeah, and apparently that's just how it airs now.
Yeah.
Like, so FX is cool with it.
So, but the thing is, like, it's not up to them. I thought it was up to the FCC.
I don't know.
They started allowing shit because of South Park.
But no, I think shit was allowed on like prime time. I think that's the difference between like network television and cable television. I don't know if there's different rules.
Sure. I mean, if it's an adult show, it shouldn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if it's like NYPD Blue, they should say fuck all they want. If it's Gotham, I could see maybe where people would watch Gotham with their kids or something.
Yeah.
But I mean,
well, and that's like super violent.
Yeah, and so I mean, that's just like I mean, if you can't handle the word fucked or shit.
Well, and
I mean, you can say bitch though.
I mean, speaking of South Park, like their movie is all about that, like how it's okay to be super violent, but it's not okay to be speak vulgarly.
Yeah,
vulgarly. Is that a word?
Maybe
vulgarly.
We'll accept it.
All right. Yeah.
But
vulgarly.
Vulgarly.
I don't know, but I mean it's nice because that means we'll get more HBO, Showtime, Cinemax,
quality
shows.
Cinemax. What does Cinemax got?
Oh God, what is that show with the
Cinemax was still
cop
around.
that pretends he's a sheriff but he's not? Banshee is on there. Shit, what else?
I knew HBO and Showtime were still around. I didn't know Cinemax was still around. That's cool.
Well, and what is Ash vs. the Evil Dead on?
Well, what is that on? Isn't that
Stars?
That's on Stars.
Stars.
And the Stars was around.
Yeah.
Stars had a couple hit shows. Like what's that Gladiator one?
Oh, Spartacus?
Yeah. So I watched Spartacus. That show's not good. Maybe I didn't. The fake CGI blood and shit drove me nuts.
Well, American Gods is on Stars, which is amazing.
I saw like an episode of it. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I like the guy that plays Odin because he plays the
on Deadwood.
Well, he plays in John Wick. He's the guy that runs that hotel.
Odin is the guy that's in Until Dawn, the psychiatrist.
Oh, not that guy.
Peter.
Who's the guy that plays... The guy that's in John Wick, he plays a god in the American Gods.
Shane Mick.
Are you talking about the guy that was in Fargo?
Deadwood.
I don't know that one. I didn't see Deadwood.
Ian McShane.
I think that sounds right, though.
Yes.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll get better quality shows on more networks. Just remove this stupid censorship. And I think, now that I think about it, like, I think it is, like, network shows you can get with, like, an antenna, whatnot, and then cable you have to pay for some sort of package. So, like, I don't know, maybe that's the difference.
Sure.
Kids can't freely access it.
Makes sense.
I don't know. Whatever.
I don't know either.
It's dumb. Censorship is dumb. Let them say fuck.
Let them say fuck.
And last but not least, Friday the 13th, the game.
Did he get a single player yet?
Kind of. they're getting the Virtual Cabin 2.0.
What the hell is that?
You posted about it.
What? Oh yeah, I didn't read it. I just
Oh.
posted it, so I do that sometimes so I remember to go back and read it and forgot.
So originally, as part of like a marketing thing, I think they were going to do this like sort of virtual tour of what you could expect the environments in Friday the 13th, the game, would be like. And I don't think they got it done in time or something, whatever the case, like it never happened. But now they're releasing this for free, PS4, Xbox, PC. And it's going to be a first-person, like, tour through a cabin in Friday the 13th, the game.
And I take it there's going to be scaries in it.
Yeah. They even compared it to, they don't name it specifically, but, I mean, whatever they say, I can't remember, paraphrasing, but they
Silent
compare
Hill?
it to PT.
Oh!
Yeah.
Silent Hills.
So there's going to be, like, weird, obscure puzzles you can do to uncover, like, secret areas, I assume. And
I like this.
yeah. And there's going to be ooby-joobies, EBGBs, heebie-jeebies, jeepers creepers
No, that's Friday the 13th.
jumping out at you. Scares. There's supposed to be scares. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know when it's coming out, but it will be out for free. So,
That's cool.
yeah.
Is it free if you already own the game?
Yeah, it's in the game.
Okay, sure.
So you would, yeah, I guess you would have to have the game to access it. But, and we never talked about it, but they sort of revealed that the single player element of the game is basically just going to be like challenges. Like, it's not going to be a single player story mode. It's just going to be like challenges you can play single player. So I don't know what it's going to be like, but
Basically stealth around the campsite and find gas, keys, and
yeah.
a battery and get in a car and drive out of the camp.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I think I would actually play it more if I didn't have to connect with a bunch of different players. I could just hop in, do it at my own pace, whatever.
Just like it. People on the internet didn't suck.
You know, they patched out that you can't kill other counselors now.
Oh, really? They just patched it out completely?
Yeah. You can't injure. You can't kill. So
That's good.
yeah, I assume it must have been happening much more frequently. So
The worst was when somebody called in Tommy Jarvis and I got to the end of the game. Like I was going to win.
yeah.
And then Tommy Jarvis shot me with a shotgun. It's like, you fucking bastard.
All right, it is that time. This week's movie. Fuck. This episode's movie of the week is.
Fuck. You sure? You didn't read the paper? You forgot what you just watched?
No, I forgot what year it came out.
Oh.
1997's Event Horizon.
Look at her, Miller. Isn't she beautiful?
Yeah.
So, I was
Yeah,
really hoping that this movie was going to be as good as I remembered it as a kid.
Okay, we'll get to our critique of it, but let's get through the movie first. Well, let's get to the.
Have you ever played Doom? All right,
So
my
this
critique
movie is starring. This movie's starring Lawrence Fishburne. We all
Nice.
love Lawrence Fishburne
Nice.
as Captain Miller.
Nice.
Yeah. Sam Neill, another
Awesome.
in everything good.
Dr. Grant.
Dr. William Weir.
Awesome.
Kathleen Quinlan.
I don't know who that is.
She's been around for a while.
Who is she?
Peters.
Okay.
She's medtech, I think her
She's
job
medical
role
or
was.
something, yep.
Yeah. And Jolie Richardson
Who is that?
as Lieutenant Stark. Now,
Okay, yeah,
I
sure.
know her from Nip Tuck.
Okay.
Have you ever watched that show?
I saw an episode or two.
That show is great. It gets a little off the rails later on, but first few seasons are
Isn't Famke Janssen in it?
she might be on an episode. I don't know.
I thought she was a recurring character.
Maybe? No.
I used to work at a job where we could watch movies all day because customers weren't coming in. We just watch on the computer. Yeah, we watched. So I've seen a couple episodes of Nip Tuck.
Yeah.
At when I was just to work at a place.
Yeah, show's great, but yeah, she plays the wife.
Of one of the main.
Yeah, she's
suckers.
she's a main character on the show.
Cool.
She's the wife of one of the doctors.
Cool.
Yeah. Written by Philip Eisner.
Oh, we're not going to talk about DJ or Justin or Cooper? Those other three actors? I mean, one of those actors makes it to the end of the movie.
That's true. Cooper,
You didn't pull Cooper?
No.
Well, we do know that Jason Isaacs plays
Yes.
DJ. And Jason Isaacs, I'm going to go on record saying this, Jason Isaacs could be the next Bond.
I agree with that. Get Daniel Craig the F out of there.
So I don't get with
Get
this.
him
I
out of
like
there.
Daniel Craig as a Bond.
Get him out of there.
I liked him as a Bond. He's fine.
No. Daniel Craig ruined Bond.
Ruined it?
Yes.
He put runes in it?
Bond used to be
There's an I in that word.
ruined.
Ruined.
Ruined James Bond.
Marcos, fix this guy, man.
I don't care if another Bond ever comes out again, as if it's starring Daniel Craig.
Well, at least one more's coming out. Yeah,
Just
so we
get him
also
out of
have
there. He's
Jason Isaacs
terrible.
as DJ. We have Jack Noseworthy as Justin. You might recognize him from Something About Mary.
Yeah.
We got Sean Pertwee as Smith. He was the pilot. And Richard T. Jones as Cooper.
Alfred
and
on
he was the...
Gotham.
What?
Alfred on Gotham.
Oh, yeah. Is that who that guy is?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we had Richard T. Jones as Cooper, and he was like the safety tech guy, like the rescue tech. Is what his name was.
Yep.
And then Holly Chant played Claire.
Claire is Sam Neill's wife.
Yes. So there were some other characters in there.
Huh.
Anyways, it starts off in the beginning with
In space, and it gives you kind of like a little
Quick
timeline
history, yeah.
of like this universe. So 2015.
Oh, you did write it all down.
I did.
Oh my God.
2015. First permanent colony on the moon.
Well, we fucked that up. Didn't get that done.
Come on. If Event Horizon, you let Philip Eisner down.
Yeah, that's stupid. Could have had a
Base on
moon
the moon.
base. It'd been awesome.
2032, which we're inching closer to.
Yeah, we're closer to 2032 than 2015 now.
I know. Commercial mining begins on Mars.
Yeah.
Got to mine Mars.
Got to mine it. It's got iron dust.
Yep. 2040, deep space research vessel Event Horizon launched to explore boundaries of the solar system.
2047.
Oh, no, not in 2047.
No.
In 2040.
2040.
It disappears.
Where did it go?
It disappears. It gets near past beyond Neptune and disappears.
Neptunes.
2047. It's now. Now it's 2047.
And what we've got going on is the... What's the name of that ship again? It's those two...
USAC Lewis and Clark.
Yep, the Lewis and Clark.
But before this,
Oh,
we get this. It's like a tour through Event Horizon, the interior. Stuff's floating around. An iPad is there.
then you get to the cabin, and it's got this cross-shaped window, and the big blue Neptune is there, and you see a body floating, and it kind of almost looks like it's like an illuminated crucifix.
Yeah, it
kind
sort of
setup.
starts upside down, and then it's in 0G, so it like floats. So it's got its arms out.
See, I wonder if it'd actually be 0Gs there, though. or is it in a parabolic arc, in a constant parabolic arc around Neptune? So it's you experience what would be like 0 G's, but it's actually not 0 G's, like in the space station.
What?
You know the space station? You know, the United States
Oh,
space station?
kind of like how they can simulate 0 G's with the airplanes that go down and up and down and up.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, because the space station is moving at like 27,000 miles an hour or something around the Earth, so it feels like it's 0 G's, but it's actually not. It actually experience, I want to say, like 97% of the Earth's gravity if you built the skyscraper that high. So you could actually stand on it if it wasn't whatever, but because it's in a constant parabolic arc moving that fast, it feels like 0 G's up there.
Okay, I'm getting like motion sickness just thinking about it. Stop it. Stop it.
I could be wrong about all that.
Oh.
I thought I read that. I could be wrong.
But yeah, then it gets to the face and Sam Neill all bloodied up, and then Sam Neill wakes up. It's all a nightmare. He is on some sort of like space station. I forgot what it was exactly. Do you remember?
It was just I don't remember if they actually said it.
Yeah. Well, I know they say that some font comes up with like the name of it, but whatever.
90% of the Earth's gravity reaches the space station.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, NASA.
So then we get to the USAC Lewis and Clark, which is a like search and rescue ship, and that's where all the characters. Lawrence Fishburne is the captain of that, and they swing by and pick up
Dr. Weir.
Dr. Weir, and it's supposed to be this like secret mission they're going
top
on.
Mission, top secret.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, then we find out that they are going to go find the Event Horizon.
Yeah, so Dr. Weir gets kind of the cold shoulder when they first get in there by everybody. They go in these sleepy pods, and then they wake up 52 days later or something like that.
It's interesting because it's not like traditional cryo sleep. It's like they're submerged in some kind of liquid.
Yeah, apparently the liquid will counteract because when their thrusters hit, I guess they experience like 30 G's, and the DJ said it would liquefy your brain or something like that. So you have to go in these pods, and then whatever, that was their reasoning. Yeah. I don't know if any of that's true with that 30 G's.
There's a lot of science that doesn't quite add up in this movie, but
yeah, well, I have no idea if it does or not. I really don't know if 30 G's would liquefy me or not.
Sure, probably.
I'm gonna look that up.
If you pass out after like 9, I'm sure 30 will.
Some pilots, like jet fighter pilots, can do that. I guess like I was watching that thing about the F-16s can handle 9 G's. I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, we're talking 30 G's, so. Yeah, I would believe liquefaction would occur.
Yeah.
Liquidifying.
Well, it says we can handle about 5 G's.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't say
we would definitely liquefy.
It wouldn't liquefy. It's just like I don't know what happens, but
it'd spin us. Our bones would be on the outside.
That'd be gross.
They'd just like. It'd be like watching your fingernails grow in real time, but it would be your bones popping out of your fingers. Your skin would just peel back to your skeleton.
Gross.
Someone needs to make a movie of this. Stick someone in like a hyper
The next
G.
Saw movie is just like in space.
Yeah,
just like
hyper G chamber. And it's just like peels their skin away. Yeah. TM Scream Fiends.
Yeah, so they wake up though, and then they get everybody together. You get a little bit of banter. Lawrence Fishburne's like a whip cracker. He's like, "All right, everybody, get ready." Blah blah blah. And he goes over to Stark and he's like, "Why aren't you dressed? I need you on my bridge." "Well, can I get dressed first?" "No," or something. And then they have.
Does it bother you that I'm not dressed? Or what? Yeah. He's a very like strict by the book kind of.
Yep. Cooper offers Dr. Weir some coffee. And he
you like
declines.
something hot and black inside of you?
Yeah, that's what he offers to Stark. And she says no. Then he says, "Well, can I get you some coffee?" Like that line. That was good. And then they all kind of get together and talk about what they're doing.
Yep. Then we find out what the Event Horizon, what its actual purpose was.
Well, I mean, the crew had heard about the Event Horizon. Because he says, the Event Horizon has come back. We don't know where it came from, but it's back. And they're like, there's no way.
They knew it was missing.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they necessarily knew what it was out there to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, we find out that Dr. Weir is the one that built this
Gravity drive.
Gravity drive that.
Want me to explain it real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
The gravity drive, what it does is it essentially folds space. And so, like, if you got a thing, like the way he explained it in the movies, he actually used a poster of like a calendar pinup girl with like it's a 2047 on the side. It was funny, but it looked like straight out of the 80s. But he poked a hole in both ends and goes, "What's the straightest line? Or what's the straightest route between these 2 points?" And Justin says, "Oh, line." They laugh at him. He goes, "No, it's 0." And he folds it in half and says, "So what we do, what the gravity drive does is it uses like black hole technology to fold space in half. Then you pass through the hole. Then it goes back to normal."
Yeah.
And so that's what the gravity drive does.
Yes, and he built it. So after that, they get to Neptune, and they're like flying towards it. And it's all like cloudy, like stuff is obscuring their vision, and the computer is telling them like, "Oh, you're 1,000 meters away, like 900. You're coming up on this thing," and they can't see the Event Horizon. And then right when they're about to hit, comes through the clouds, and there is the Event Horizon.
It's immense.
I do like that scene.
I do like it as well.
Like just the sheer scale of the Event Horizon, and it says Event Horizon right on the front of it. Yeah, pretty awesome.
It's almost reminiscent of the first Dead Space.
Oh yes.
Where you take a.
There's a lot in this movie that you know, talking about Dagon making me want to play Bloodborne.
Now you want to play Dead Space.
Now I want to play Dead Space. Except I just played it not too long ago.
Really?
But
it's been a while since I played that.
I might play Dead Space 2. That one I haven't played in a while.
Sure.
But
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then they go through the ship. They get on the ship. Well, they make Dr. Weir stay on the other one because it's a rescue mission, so they're going to look for crew first.
Yep. They do a scan of the ship,
and they pick up life readings, but there's no life there. It's like the biometric thing is pinging, but there's nothing there. They can't figure it out.
Right. It's like the whole ship is lighting up.
Yeah. The other thing we missed, though, is that Dr. Weir did show them a snip of a log from the
that's
ship.
right, yeah.
And it just sounds like screaming. But then they isolated a guy speaking in Latin, but nobody was like, what is that, gibberish? But it was Latin, and the one guy, DJ, Jason Isaacs, knew it, and he goes, it's liberate me. And he says it means save me.
Yeah.
And so he, and they're like, okay, weird, creepy. Then they get to the ship and blah, blah, blah. We've already said.
Yep. And now it cuts between Justin and what was Kathleen Quinlan's, what was her name? Peters. Yeah, it cuts between Peters and Justin, and Captain Miller was on there too, right? Or was it Cooper?
It was Justin,
Peters.
Yeah, Cooper. No, Cooper wasn't there. They send Cooper out to pick Justin up.
Oh, that's right.
Justin goes through the thing.
Yeah. So
it was Peters. Was it DJ? Maybe no.
Maybe it was just Peters and Justin.
No, there was Peters, Justin, and another one. Oh no, yeah, because he was like, Justin, it's your turn to walk.
Yeah.
So I think it was Justin goes out. Basically, so Justin gets out there and he Gets to the gravity drive.
Yeah, he goes through this cool like spinning room that looks.
It looks like a funhouse thing with spikes on it, and what it
Yeah.
does is it makes it so like the magnets in the other room won't contaminate.
Something
Yeah.
science.
It like demagnetizes you or some shit. Who knows?
Yeah.
In any case, he goes into the other room, and the gravity drive is spinning, and then it stops,
Oh.
and then it opens, and there's like a weird liquid in there.
Yeah, it's like a portal,
Yeah.
like a grayish.
It
Portal.
looks like a Stargate.
Yeah.
And so then he sticks his finger in there, and a goop comes out. It's kind of goopy.
Goop.
And then he...
Well, and there's like goop floating around all over
'cause
the place.
Well, that was one of the issues with the ship is that the gravity hadn't come back.
Yeah.
And so then he sticks his arm in there and he gets sucked in.
Yep.
And that's when they realize he's got a problem. Cooper goes out to go get him, and he's running down the thing in his suit, but then he comes out of the thing, and they grab him, they bring him back in, and he's like catatonic.
Yep.
He's not, like, eyes are open, not responding to anything. And DJ,
Right.
the trauma guy, Jason Isaacs was like, he could wake up in 15 minutes, or he might never wake up. And so they don't know what's going on there.
Yeah.
So he's...
Comatose.
Yep. And so Cooper is telling Miller what he saw, and Weir's like, that couldn't happen. Nobody activated the gravity drive.
You were just seeing things. You're delusional.
You might be delusional.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would have punched that guy in the face. But
right.
Miller, stops him and gets, then they talk and blah, blah, blah. They figure out what's going on. And, so it's, the creepy starts happening.
Yeah, so then they all go on the ship, I think.
Yeah, because...
Well, there's an explosion. Does the drive... What happens? The drive...
The drive kind of like... It looks like it like launches like almost like an EMP style blast.
Yep.
And it rips a hole in the hull of the Lewis and Clark. So... They all have to quick get on the ship because their other ship is depressurizing and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and they leave Cooper outside to patch the hole.
And he's working on that almost the whole movie.
Yeah.
At one point, Smith does go out to help him, too.
Does he?
Yeah, he's out there like right at the end when they're just about done fixing it. And then he goes back in, but we'll get to that. But
So now so basically all of them are now on the Event Horizon.
Yep, and they had to bring their CO2 scrubbers there and this and that. So, yep.
And they get gravity turned on pretty quick. Well, first they find a body, right? A frozen body.
First Miller's going through it, and then he gets hit in the face with a glove, and he flips out.
Oh,
and he's
yeah,
like a little
yeah.
jumpy there, huh, Captain?
And
and then they do find a body at some point. I can't remember when.
it's all like cut up. The eyes are gone.
Yeah, it's gross.
And it's frozen.
Yeah.
They all start kind of seeing things.
Well, yeah. Well, what happens is they do kind of get the life support systems on and the gravity system on. So when the gravity comes back on, that body hits the floor and just shatters.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool.
Yeah. Gory. Yeah. Bloody frozen chunks everywhere. Yep. Weir is like seeing... I think even before he leaves the Lewis and Clark.
Well, he wakes up to a nightmare of his wife and her eye sockets.
Yeah, before he even wakes up from the hypersleep.
Yep.
Yeah, and her eyes are missing, and she's naked.
Yeah. So, they're all starting to see things. So, like, the main ones are, like, Peters keeps seeing her son.
Yep.
And pursues him a couple times, but then breaks out of it somehow. Or
and
whatever.
he's like on Earth, he's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Well, but he's running around.
But she saw him with like his legs looked all chewed up from something.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, that
it's
was
just like a graphic. It's just a graphic image, like the monster of this movie.
Yeah,
which
that
we'll get to what it actually is.
That was kind of a cool scene. Like she's working in like the lab. Justin is comatose on the table. And then she hears this like scratching on this like quarantine tent on another table. And she opens it up, and it's her son with the legs all.
Yeah, so she's starting to see shit. Now, who else sees shit? I mean, Cooper saw just that.
Miller is seeing a flaming, bloody
man, but he first hears the voices.
Yeah,
but that's a little bit later. Does Stark see anything?
I don't think so. I think it's just
Peters.
Peters, Miller, and Weir.
Yeah. And then Justin, he sees a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And so...
well, he's been...
He went there,
yeah.
we'll say. But so they're kind of just tooling around, really, trying to figure out how to get off the ship and blah, 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 learning about the ship. They're all kind of wandering around. At some point, I'm probably skipping a bunch, but Justin wakes up.
They clear up the audio log. Like, so Peters...
I remember now, because Miller and Cooper were outside.
Yeah.
And Cooper's doing a spacewalk for some... Or not Cooper. Miller's doing a spacewalk.
Yes.
And so what... Now,
Miller's out there with Cooper? Or... No, Miller is still on the ship.
Yes, and so he just gets out of the ship in a spacesuit and is making his way over.
Yes.
But then they go, hey, who's at the airlock 1?
Yeah.
And they're like, nobody. Who? And then to patch me through, and then they find out Justin's there. And he, like, Justin, get back in here, get back in here. Like, what is he doing? What is he doing? He turns around and goes, if you saw what I've seen, you'd be in here too, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But then he snaps out of it, goes, what am I doing in here? Mama Bear, you got to get me out of here. That's what they call Peters. And they can't get the door open, because once they trigger the other door opening, there's some kind of thing where it won't. Yeah,
because if it does open up, it'll basically turn the entire ship.
Yeah, because the depressurizing was already happening. So he gets patched through to Miller. Miller explains, roll up into a ball, blah, 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 close your eyes tight as you can, because he's going to...
Yeah, blow out all the air in your lungs.
Yeah, blow out all the air in your lungs. So that was actually... So I read about what happens like, what happens if you go out into space? And, yeah, you want to do all those things because your lungs could rupture. If there's any... Because the air, when there's no ambient pressure, like, the air in your lungs will expand rapidly.
Yeah.
Your blood and, like, your fluids in your body will bubble because there's no ambient pressure in space. It's a vacuum, so like you gotta like that's so that was kind of cool seeing that he had to do all these things. And
yeah, I can't think of the name of the channel right now. There's a YouTube channel. It's animated. It's like short 2 to 3 minute videos, but it's all about this one character who basically all these situations he's put in, like buried alive, falling 30,000 feet without a parachute, and one of them was like what happens when you're put into space. And yeah, so it's a really good I'll think of it and then put it in the description or something, link to it. But
so the hatch opens, his body gets ejected out, and then Miller pushes off this piece and catches him, brings him back in.
Yeah, he's bleeding from the face, like,
and he's like, yeah, he's a bloody mess. He's in shock. So they man, check it out. Your spider is here again. Look at him right there. No, look right at my finger.
Oh yeah,
so he's hanging out.
Just hanging out.
ADD
Wants to join the fun.
Oh, squirrel. But they fix him and put him in a pod or whatever. Or they're not yet, but they fix him up and they're working on him.
Yep.
And like, we got to get off this ship.
Yeah.
Essentially what they're going to do. And Weir's not happy about this. He's already gone cuckoo bananas.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, like the transition.
Yeah.
He goes from like being normal and then all of a sudden he's like
crazy and then back to normal for a second.
Yes.
So he's on the hallway. So what happens is Miller goes, okay, you guys do this, you guys do this, you guys do this. And then I'm going to go blow this place up.
Right.
So he's going to set charges. And Sam's like, you can't do this, you can't do this. So they're arguing down this hallway. And he goes, Dr. Weir, you either get on this ship and come home, or you're walking home. He's like, I already am home. And then fades into the darkness. Yeah. They're like, oh, he went crazy.
And then the next time you see him,
but he goes back into the room and he finds Peters. Here's what happens to Peters, though. Peters is grabbing CO2 scrubbers with Smith, and Smith takes off, and she goes too. But then the gravity drive kind of subduces her, and she turns around, sees her kid, chases her kid. And then falls to her death. because she didn't see that the grate gave way
Yep.
in this area, so she just falls back into the gravity well room, and she's in like pieces, kind of.
Yeah, because she like falls onto a grate.
Well, so it's like this. It's like a chute.
Yeah.
And there's like little spikes sticking out of it, and they.
Oh, she
like,
does hit. Yeah,
she
she
hits
does.
things on the way down.
Yeah.
Hits the grate, is mangled to bits, and she sees her death for a moment right before this happens too.
Yeah. Because there's that like ring moment where it's like in her eyeball. The gravity drive is in her eyeball.
So she goes. She dies, but then so after Sam Neill has his weird I am home line. So he goes back to the gravity well, and he's looking at it, and he's like, oh no, Peters.
No, yeah. Before this, like before he goes crazy that first time,
Cuckoo.
he does explain like what's happening, right? Doesn't he? Or is that after?
Well, he says like the ship's
on?
not going to let you leave and stuff. I think, later on, because once they figure out people are dying and stuff.
Because I thought he says he like clears up that the ship went to another dimension, basically.
Yeah, I think they figured out. Well, they watch a video of like the people in the crew like getting cut to pieces and going crazy.
Yeah, like
and they
cannibalizing each other.
Yeah, they find out like it wasn't Liberate May, it was Liberate Tu May. Blah blah blah. Save yourself from hell is what they were saying.
Yeah,
and what this guy was saying. And they realize that they got to get off the ship. They give the assignments. They do all this stuff. So the first person that eats it though is Peters.
Yes.
And then after Peters, we get Sam Neill, Dr. Weir going crazy for good. Where he goes, he hears Claire's voice, he turns around, and suddenly he's back in the bathroom at home, and he's apologizing to her.
We find out why she's naked whenever he sees
because she killed herself in the bathtub.
Yep.
And
slitterous.
And then he goes, I'm sorry for this. She goes, it's okay. And he turns on, and she was just looking at her in the bathtub, in a bloody bathtub. Now he's looking, and she's standing next to her, and her eyes are missing. Don't worry, I have things to show you. And then you get the idea that like she's gouging his eyes out, but then it goes to a scene where he's back in the gravity well or the gravity drive, and he's gouging his own eyes out or something.
Yep.
And then he disappears for a second, and then they're going through trying to figure out stuff. They can't find Peters or whatever. They get Cooper gets the ship hull finished. He's gonna make his way back in. Smith is getting shit ready, but Smith says, "Hey, I just saw Dr. Weir go into the hull of the blah blah." He goes, "Get out of there now." I think he's may have put explosives in there. So Smith's looking around for the explosives really fast, and he finds them, but it was
like 5 seconds.
It was like 5 seconds left, and he just he looks down.
Yeah, it
defeated. Explodes. It sends Cooper into who knows where.
Well,
why is this shit always gotta happen to me?
Yeah, so let's just do Cooper right now. It ends up he's like still in a portion of the ship that's been shot out into space, and then he's like, "Well, I gotta get back to the ship."
Yep.
So he decides to blow out his entire oxygen supply. And so,
he's going to blow his O2 tanks. There's still some in there, but he blows most of it to get. He's propelling himself off the piece he's at to go back to the spaceship, and he does this successfully. But and celebrates by saying, "I'm coming, you motherfuckers," or something.
Yeah,
like
but
that.
The thing is, it doesn't show the ship like in the distance. Yeah. So what it looks like is him basically shooting off, like he's gonna fly down into Neptune. Like he's Superman flying down into Neptune.
Yeah.
And so it just looks ridiculous. Like
it is weird, but like it makes sense to because how high up above the atmosphere was the event horizon? Because you were going through storm clouds to get to it. I don't know if that's just a oopsie or whatever, but so I mean
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Yeah, whatever.
But so Cooper's making his way back. "I'm coming, you motherfuckers," or something like that. It was a great line. But Cooper's got all the best lines in the movie.
Yes.
But so then they get back to them, and so Smith gets killed, Peters gets killed, and I think this is when
Miller figures out that they can use the very front part as like a lifeboat.
Well, they talk about it at the end.
Yeah.
But why are there explosive things set along these things? They find out at the beginning that this can do this. So he's going to do that.
Yeah.
That's what he wants to do. He talks to DJ again, and DJ's like, that's when DJ reveals what that thing actually said. He goes, I wasn't going to say anything. And Miller's like, you don't believe any of this shit, though, because they're still wrapping their heads around the idea that this ship essentially went to hell and came back.
Yeah.
So DJ's going somewhere, runs into, crazy Dr. Neil, Dr. Weir, who then opens him up, hangs him on hooks in the room.
Oh, that's
and
right.
His guts are all over this table.
Yeah.
It's on display. And Miller finds them and
basically in Itchy the Killer, suspending them from the back. And
with the
whatever.
hooks.
Yeah, hanging there, but chest cut open.
Yeah,
spread.
and he had already had a scar there too.
Oh,
remember when he takes the shirt off, he already had a scar there.
Oh,
so
I didn't notice that.
That was his thing because the ship knows everybody's fears, and
that's right.
That's what he's telling DJ. He tells him the ship knows my fears. I haven't. He tells him a story about how he left a guy behind on a mission and he died.
And that's the burning man.
Yeah, the burning man that he'll be run into.
Yes.
But he says this to him, and he goes, and DJ's like, I've known you a long time, and I didn't know this. He goes, that's the thing, and nobody knows this. I haven't told anybody, but the ship knows.
Right.
So they realize that the ship is and that's you get Dr. Weir saying the ship, she's not going to let you leave. You're her new crew now because she needs a crew apparently, and whatever. But so DJ's dead now. Stark is unconscious on the floor somewhere for some reason. I can't remember why.
Oh, I forgot about Stark.
So, Miller finds Stark. They go back into the thing. They're going to get ready to go. But then dude's in there.
Burning Man.
No.
Oh,
Dr. Weir's in there. Then they have a little bit of a fight scene.
He's got his eyes gouged out.
Yep. But he's got a gun, like a nail gun, but like a big nail gun.
Yeah.
Shoots some glass. Wasn't Cooper on the other side of the glass? He goes to shoot at Cooper or something.
I don't know.
But the glass goes out. Weir gets sucked out the window. Sam, Lawrence Fishburne pulls himself into another room. The doors are going to close, but he sees Stark, manages to pry the door open, grabs Stark, pulls her in. The door closes. They're fine.
Yes,
but it's not over yet. Somebody's at airlock 1. It's it can't be Dr. Weir. And so they grab a giant snips and some kind of hammer thing, and they're gonna. And then Cooper comes through and goes, "Don't hit me!"
Yeah, that's right.
So he comes through. Fishburne tells them what they have to do now. He says, "Hey, you send out the distress beacon. You get the ship ready. I'm gonna go set these charges." And she goes, "But she's like, Captain." He's like, "Shut the door behind me."
Yeah.
So he lights all these things up. But before he can leave, the fire guy comes out, and it's his buddy from this mission, and he throws fire at him. He ends up in the gravity drive.
Which we now know that Lawrence Fishburne can outrun a fireball.
Yep, he's fast.
Yeah.
And so he gets out there, does that. The
fire guy ends up out there anyways.
Yep.
In front of him.
And then it ends up being Dr. Weir anyways.
Well, it does that whole thing of it's the Pennywise, he says, I know you're not real, and then it reveals...
I watched you die.
Then it reveals that it's Dr. Weir, but he's bald now and is all lacerated everywhere.
So you get a fight scene where he just gets beat around a little bit. Then, he drops the detonator, but then he grabs a old CO2 scrubber, hits him with it a few times, but then gets beat up again. But then he gets knocked right by the explosive device, and... I can't remember what the last line was, but then he boom blows the ship up.
Yep.
And Dr. Weir's like, no. And so then they get away.
But wait, how does Miller get?
He doesn't. He dies.
Oh, that's right.
He didn't make it.
Well, so
but Event Horizon 2 maybe comes back as the Dr. Weir.
I was just gonna say the front end. So it flies off, but the other half. The gravity drive ends up doing doing the black hole. So you never know, because so Miller was on the part that got blown up.
Well, no, he was in the gravity well.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in the gravity drive room. Remember?
Oh, so he wasn't on. He wasn't on the connector.
No, he wasn't on the connector. So he might have survived. So maybe he's in hell.
Event Horizon 2.
Event Horizon 2.
So but before the end, Stark Like, it shows her getting out of her water sleep thing. And it's like...
safety crew with a mask on. You're okay, we got you. You're okay, we got you. And
Yep.
then it, he
Takes the
mask off. And it's Dr. Wire.
Oh!
He's right there. And then she wakes up again.
Yep.
It's the double wake up thing.
Right.
But
and it's just a normal safety crew.
Yeah.
They've been saved.
And then the audio gets really weird because you can hear Cooper clear as day, but like the camera's pulling away from him, and the audio at the end was weird. But then you get hit, though. This is the best part of the movie. What you got to do is you got to get a PS4. You got to get the Blu-ray of this. And when you get to the end of the movie and the credits hit, set that shit to 1.5 times speed and go crazy with that techno.
Oh, sick.
Oh,
Sick
man, that was
beats.
awesome. That was awesome.
Not since the Mortal Kombat soundtrack has it been that fucking
That rivals
sweet.
Mortal Kombat. That song. That song at the end rivals it.
Yep. I agree. So, this movie...
Platinum Award. Oh, man, was that great? No.
It is a great movie.
So, I still like it.
So, it's two separate things here. The visual effects...
are from 1997.
Don't hold up to today. Like, they really... Some of the things look really, really bad.
Yep.
I mean, you can clearly tell some of this stuff was miniatures. So as far as, like, it holding up visually, it doesn't. I mean, some parts do look really good, but for the most part...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from 1997.
Yeah. But, like, story-wise...
It's fun.
It's awesome.
I like the story. It's
Yeah.
Doom. Oh,
Yeah.
except for instead of building it on Mars, they put it in a spaceship.
Yeah.
It's Dead Space if you want to
Sure.
really do it that way. But I like the whole idea of like science like opening a porthole to hell and hell coming through. That's kind of
Well, and they even kind of leave it up to the imagination a little bit. They say it's worse than hell. Like, what you're imagining hell, it's worse than
Dr.
that.
Weir says hell is only a word. The reality is much worse.
Yeah.
And it's like kind of neat, but
Yep.
yeah, no, I still like it though. It's still fun. I would watch that on purpose at any time.
Oh yeah.
And so just based on the technical abilities of the movies, and it is a little weak there. Some of the acting's a little shoddy, but not really. It's 90s acting. I mean, it fits the era. I mean, it wasn't terrible by any means, but it's not like it's not going to win any Oscars or anything. But
but I think the character or the actors do the best they can with the lines they're given. Like, it's not like it's bad acting.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just like bad dialogue.
Writing. Yeah, but there's a little kind of little shitty dialogue.
Just, I mean, not throughout, because there is a lot of like science jargon and like really intelligent stuff.
The conversation between DJ and Miller towards the end was really cool.
Yeah,
it was a cool little scene there. But
it's just some of the cheesy stuff that like Cooper says, and
Cooper's got some lines.
Yeah, I mean, they're really funny,
but
I
like Cooper though. Like,
it just doesn't necessarily fit with the rest of the movie. Like, it makes it that 90s cheese. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. Event Horizon 2 needs to happen.
Yeah.
But let's go. So I give it a seal of approval. I will personally give it a Scream Fiend seal of approval.
Yes.
Everything about it I like. It's got a couple sound parts that are weird. It's got a couple visual things that are like, what the hell? But when you take into consideration it's from 97,
yep.
It was a Paul Anderson joint, and
Resident Evil, what
up? And, so it's not getting a platinum. It's not getting a gold. Silver, I think I'll go with the silver with this one.
Yeah, I would say it's borderline gold.
Yeah. I'm eliminating the nostalgia and just trying to remain as objective as possible, and being, because I mean, if I get into nostalgia with this, I could probably be right on the line too. But I think objectively, it's like a silver. Yeah. Because it's still really good and really fun. I would love to see a modern remake of this.
Oh, heck yeah!
With all the same actors, just bring them all back.
Yeah.
And just say, we're going to do it again. You're just going to be older, and we're going to do this.
And it's going to be more. Better quality
graphics, better dialogue, hopefully,
Yeah. Yeah, but
Maybe
Yeah.
expand on it a little bit too. You know, it kind of feels rushed.
for sure, like the way that we're almost instantly goes from normal to the bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, he could just start as the bad. You know who Weir is? He's the fucking Ian character from Alien, the fucking droid.
Oh yeah,
I mean, he's like, no,
David.
we have a mission.
or the
Yeah,
original.
David, but in the original, we
Oh,
have a
yeah.
mission here. You know, because they're trying to state of the mission.
Yeah,
So this is like a culmination of like a bunch of different shit.
it has that shining moment with
Yeah.
the blood coming down.
I'll go on a limb here, and I will say that Event Horizon is leaps and bounds better than Alien Covenant.
I
is
would agree with that.
Leaps and bounds better.
I would
than
completely
Prometheus.
agree with that.
It is leaps and bounds better than Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
I would say it's as good, if not better, than Alien 3.
I really like Alien 3.
It's all right, but this is pretty good too. And they're about the same era, like time
Yeah.
frame. I think what Alien 3 is like 93, 4,
93.
and this is 97. So I like that one.
All right. You hear it first. Seal of approval, silver. Right?
Yes.
All right. Get at us on Twitter at Scream Fiends. Let us know what you think of Event Horizon. And you must have seen Event Horizon because it's one of those movies that you just have to see. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely see this movie.
Subscribe on YouTube. If you're watching this, hit that subscribe button. Hit the thumbs down or thumbs up. Yay. We got plenty of other videos for you to check out, so peruse hours and hours of entertainment. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, patreon.com/screamfiends. You can donate to our lovely program. Help feed us. Help
Chipotle. This is
help
a second time
provide.
Chipotle. How was your Chipotle today?
freezing cold.
Yeah, so Chipotle sucked again.
Ugh.
Fucking when they do that, that makes me.
We
mad.
can't be the only ones like that got these cold ass burritos.
Yeah.
And how does this? This is the second time it's happened at this location. How do these people keep? They've got to get complaints, and the manager there would have to be like, "You cannot have fucking cold burritos."
Yeah, terrible.
What is wrong with these people?
I think like the salsa had just come out of the freezer or something.
Yeah.
Because I imagine they prepared earlier and then freeze it or put it in the fridge. It was cold as ice.
Yeah, the entire burrito was
I mean,
cold.
yeah, like it was like cold. Like,
Yeah.
like it was
Not
on
like
ice.
not like this
like
has
the
been,
onions and the tomatoes from the salsa, the little bits that were in there.
Yeah.
It was like ice cubes.
Yeah, not like this has maybe been sitting in the refrigerator for a couple minutes. No, this is
They just
cold,
pulled it out of
cold,
it.
cold.
Yeah, so fucking A, Chipotle. Fucking A, what am I, Canadian? But yeah, it's okay. I'll eat it next week anyways. And if it's cold again, the following week I'll still go back there. It doesn't fuck. Chipotle, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm
Very
gonna eat
true.
it. It doesn't fucking matter.
Thank you to Dance Commander.
Oh boy, thanks, Dance Commander. I should talk to him. Yeah, we gotta play some D&D, man. If you're watching this one,
For supporting us on Patreon. We love you. Thank you. And from us at Scream Fiends, so long and farewell.
bye.